Good morning, everyone. I'm going to adjust this. I hope you all can hear me. It's very nice to be with you in person. It was fun to join Affinity Night on Wednesday and Trivia Night, and it was very exciting that my team won. So this week, Pastor Alexa told me that the topic of today's message is about hindsight, and I thought that was kind of perfect because this is a topic I think of often, especially in regards to my time in Thailand. So when I went to Thailand 14 years ago, I had only planned to stay for 1 year, and then I was going to come back to the U.S. and figure out my life plan. I had always planned to be a foster parent, and I couldn't imagine how that would work in my current job, which was working in film in Los Angeles, or especially in a foreign country where I didn't speak the language. But God already had another plan in place. So within weeks of me moving to Thailand to teach English at an after-school program for low-income students, one of the kids in the program was tragically orphaned, and then just a few weeks after that, I became her foster parent. Again, did not speak Thai. I couldn't understand why God would allow this only child with no siblings to be orphaned with no other family and no one in the community willing to care for her besides me. Just a few weeks later, though, I took her to the doctor because she was sick, and she was diagnosed with stage 4 tuberculosis and given a 50% chance of survival. So while the circumstances surrounding her coming to live with me were indeed tragic, in hindsight, that is actually what saved her life. Now she's my oldest adopted daughter, and she has a forever family with me. So after a few years of being in Thailand and working at that after-school program, the leadership changed and it became a toxic working environment for me. It was very devastating to make the decision to leave that job that I had loved and dedicated my life to, and I couldn't understand why God would call me all the way to Thailand to this work and then allow things to just fall apart so dramatically. Making the decision to leave that job felt like I was betraying my students that I worked with as well as my supporters here in the US. But a wise friend in Thailand told me to allow God's call to lead me in a new direction, and even if I left my job, I could still support my students in another way. And in hindsight, that was the best decision I could have made. Hindsight tells me that if I had never worked at that program, I never would have learned all I have about Thai culture. I wouldn't have met 3 of the kids who became my foster children, and just as importantly, I wouldn't have met my co-founders of Jojo Sanctuary. But on the other side, if I had never left and opened myself up to God calling me in a new direction, we wouldn't have started Jojo Sanctuary. And my co-founder, Bootsaba, tells me often, when we worked at the after-school program, it was a lot of fun, but with Jojo Sanctuary, we're able to have a much broader and far-reaching impact on people's lives. And that other wise friend was right. I have remained in touch with most of those students from 14 years ago, and through Jojo Sanctuary have continued to support them as they grew up. We've sponsored their education, we've helped some get their citizenship cards, and we've even most recently given parenting classes to some that are now adults with kids of their own. We founded Jojo Sanctuary 9 years ago this month, so I'm going to share with you guys some of the ways, or the many ways, we help the most vulnerable members of Thai society and how your church specifically has helped support our foster care program over the years. So if you can show the next slide. This is our team. This is the team we started with and the team we still have. So my coworkers Jay and Bootsaba are married, and that's their daughter Blessing. She's 3.5, and myself. So we started Jojo Sanctuary in May 2016, and we still run it today. You can go to the next one. In our education program, we do a variety of topics aimed at child protection. We do this with kids in orphanages, kids in schools, community programs, and churches. And we will teach either caregivers or students all these different topics depending on what the leadership of that program wants to learn. You can go to the next one. We also do a lot of scholarships. So as I mentioned to the kids just now, all kids in Thailand have to wear uniforms from preschool all the way to grad school. So we do uniform scholarships every year for those kids. And it's about $150 for one kid to get a full set of uniforms, which can be very expensive if you have kids going into middle school and high school at the same time, and parents are only making $8 to $10 a day. That becomes very hard to keep all the kids in school. So we buy uniforms for kids to make sure everyone can continue their education through high school. We also sponsor tuition for students in college and also have some housing scholarships for kids who are from the village and come to the city to go to college and need assistance with housing costs at the dorms. You can go to the next one. So we have, under our protection arm, we do citizenship cases. This is maybe complicated to understand because it's very different from in America. I know we have a lot of citizenship issues here, but in Thailand, even if you're born there, that does not mean you get to become a citizen. There are a lot of hoops you have to jump through. You have to have a lot of paperwork, and many people who are born in villages do not have that kind of paperwork because their parents speak a tribal language. Similar to the US, we have a lot of Native American tribes. There are a lot of native tribes, indigenous tribes in Thailand as well, and they each have their own language. So we help people like this get their citizenship. There's also kids who are born in Thailand, but their parents immigrated there for work, and previously they were not allowed to have citizenship because their parents were not Thai, but their home country would not give them citizenship because they were not born there, so they were kind of stuck. Now, if they graduate from college, they're able to get Thai citizenship, so we sponsor those kids to go through college. And as of yesterday, a new law was passed in Thailand that will allow anyone who was born in Thailand, or anyone who graduates from college, to get their citizenship regardless of whether they were born in Thailand, and that's a huge deal because we have lots and lots of kids that we support who moved to Thailand when they were like a year old or 2 years old and just have never had the opportunity to get Thai citizenship. That's life-changing because they can buy property, get health insurance, go to college, all these different things. So that's a big thing that we do. And you can go to the next slide. Foster care is the thing that you guys have been supporting for many years now. Since we started, I've had 9 foster kids. My coworkers have had 6 foster kids. The goal of our foster care program is that it's just my house and my coworker's house, so we only have 1 or 2 kids at a time. And the goal is to focus on teenagers and provide therapeutic foster care for them, which means that we basically teach them how to be independent, live on their own, manage their finances, help them with homework, get them into counseling if they need it, teach them to ride a motorbike, which almost everyone in Thailand rides a motorbike, and you get a license at age 15, and teach them how to open a bank account, apply for jobs, all the things that you need and kids in orphanages don't get. We have a big problem in Thailand that 95% of kids in orphanages have parents, and their parents are just too poor to take care of them. And so we want to enable the kids to be able to be in a family system and not have to grow up in an orphanage. So we partner with private orphanages that are transitioning out of that model and into family-based care. We also partner with the Thai government when they have kids who have grown up in the government orphanage and they are too much to handle, as they say, when they get to be teenagers, and they don't want to take care of them anymore, so they will try to find a foster family for them. So these are the kids we work with. They've had lots of trauma, often from their family of origin all the way through. And so it's been really rewarding to work with kids like this, even though it might seem like it's just a small impact because we only have 1 or 2 kids at a time and we have them for several years at a time. It really makes a long-term impact on their life. So one of my foster kids that I've now adopted, when I adopted her, I was like, well, you're 20 now, you're an adult. What difference does it make to you to be adopted? And she said, well, for the first time in my whole life, I have a mom. So she grew up in an orphanage, and she was abandoned by her mom as a baby, so she never knew what that was like. So it does really have long-lasting effect on their life, and so we really appreciate that you guys support this program because we don't get any government funding for it. If we get a kid from the government, they'll give us about $50 a month, but it costs around $250 a month per kid to feed, clothe, get them to school, snacks, toiletries, all of that stuff. So without support from churches like yours, we would not be able to provide the kind of support we do for the kids that we work with. And the upper left corner, you can see my coworker's foster son. He just graduated from 9th grade. He had been kicked out of 3 schools before he came to us, kicked out of the orphanage, was smoking, drinking, starting to do drugs, and he came to live with them and has completely changed his life. He moved in with them when he was in 7th grade, and through living with them, he became a Christian, and it was really funny, actually. We went to his 9th grade graduation, which no one from the orphanage ever thought he would make it that far. guitar. And his teacher at school was like, I'm really happy this kid's graduating because every single Monday he comes in and tries to tell me how much I should start going to church with him and become a Christian and love Jesus. And I was like, wow, this kid's amazing. So yeah, and just talking to him, like, how has foster care changed your life? He's like, it's changed everything. It's changed like how I think about myself, how I think about other people. He's part of the worship team at church. He learned guitar. He was part of the planning committee for their Christmas program. So it's really, we've seen like through this one, case study of a kid that it's really changed like everything about his life and his future. So we really appreciate that you guys have sponsored this program for so many years. It really makes an impact. You can go to the next slide. I'm probably going to be shorter than 20 minutes, but you can ask me more questions afterwards. We also collaborate with about a dozen other nonprofits in Chiang Mai to work with the local people and provide wraparound care. So we are only 3 people in our organization, and we don't have a ton of money, but we have partnerships with lots of other organizations. Some provide food baskets every week. Some provide housing support for families. Some provide transportation to school. So through our partnerships, we can really provide a lot of support to the families that we work with. You can go to the next slide. Our empowerment program, our biggest program, is our Building Family Dreams program. This is 18 months long, and we do 8 families at a time. It's just like a very small group so that we can really get to know each other and they can form bonds together as well. And we do one-on-one home visits every month. Every month we meet as a group, and we either do a workshop about family strengthening, so it could be about finances, children's rights, safe and unsafe touch, any topic like that. And then on the alternate months, we go on field trips. And a lot of people are like, why are you spending money going on field trips? They could do that on their own. And yes, they could, but many people don't know what's available around that's free. And most people in Thailand don't understand the importance of actual quality time. So we want to encourage them to spend time together just being a family and having fun, and not just focus on work and school and that's it. So that has been the thing. The family field trips is the thing that consistently over all the years of doing this program, that almost every family has said was the highlight of their time in the program, because they really got to know their kids more and they really strengthened their family bonds and support for each other. We also do an income generating grant as part of this program, so we help the families become more financially stable. And we have a micro loan / grant program that's standalone program as well, that we get referrals from either other organizations or from people who've done our family strengthening program. And so they will meet one-on-one with them, and they tell us what their idea is to make more money for their family. And then we have them write a budget for us to show how it's going to be able to be sustainable and continue to provide profit for them. And then we take them to purchase all the supplies they need. So they can apply for up to $400 US. And then within 1 year of getting that grant, they need to reimburse 50% of it. And then we put that towards a new family. So they get to get 50% of it just free and clear, and then 50% they reimburse. So you can go to the next slide, and there's some pictures of families who have gotten our grant this year. We've had, I think, 15 families go through this program. The family in the upper left is kind of my poster child for this program. She borrowed $250 in January. She wanted to, it's a disabled mom, so she can't work in the fields with her husband and kids and neighbors. So she wanted to do something to bring money in. And it was almost graduation time for the schools in Thailand. That's graduations in February and March. So she decided she was going to make all these graduation gifts that people can buy in front of schools to give to their graduates. And so she made $600 of profit off of the $250 grant. And then with the profit, she bought a popcorn machine and all these different flavors. So now she sells popcorn in front of the house. And then when we saw her, which is when this picture was taken, it was almost Thai New Year. So Thai New Year is the hottest time of year, and basically the whole country takes 3 days off of work to have a huge squirt gun fight. So when you're running around with your friends squirting water on total strangers, you want to keep your phone safe. and take pictures. And so she was making these little like phone carriers that were clear plastic you could take pictures with and not get your phone wet. And so I bought a couple from her, and they were like 75 cents. And I was like, how are you making any money if you're only selling them for 75 cents? She's like, well, the supplies are only 10 cents. So I was like, wow, that's a really good return on investment. So I was like, you're my poster child for this program. We want everyone to do what you do. So it's very exciting to support families in this way and see how they take just a small amount and just run with it and really like change their whole family's outlook. So that's the newest program we just started about a year and a half ago. So we've had about 15 families go through that. You can go to the next slide. This last year, you guys might have heard, we had pretty massive floods followed by pretty massive earthquakes. But during the floods in October, the water was about 17 feet deep at one point on the river, and we worked with other organizations to rescue about 30 people from a village that was right next to the river and got them into hotels. And then we went and cleaned up and purchased, some friends of ours or a partner organization got a huge grant. So we were able to help altogether about 130 families rebuild their lives and purchase new bedding or fridges or washing machines, that kind of stuff. That's like big ticket items that they would never have been able to rebuild to that point without financial assistance. So that was very rewarding to be able to see so many people impacted by what we would consider not very much money, but it really changed their lives. You can go to the next slide. So our plans for expansion are that this year, right now we're under a fiscal sponsor in the US, and that's who processes all our donations. But we have filed with the IRS to become a nonprofit of our own, so hopefully that will be completed by the end of this year. And then we can start taking donations directly, and we can have our own Venmo and PayPal. It's going to be very exciting. People can donate a lot of ways. I can't actually read it. Also in the future, we are hoping to purchase a larger property with a yard that we could use to expand our programming. We would hope to use it for housing for our college students, so we wouldn't have to pay rent for their dorms. They could just live in our property and provide more parenting classes, literacy classes, substance use support for families dealing with drug addiction in their family. So those are dreams we have for the future. No, we don't have like a schedule for that, but we do look forward to God bringing more people to our program to help us expand in those areas. You can go to the next one. So this year, things that we are continually needing money for and putting money into is our foster care program, our school uniforms. We just purchased 70 school uniforms for 70 kids in April. School started in May, so that was an exciting time. Lots of kids need lots of uniforms. We have about 25 citizenship cases we're working on, and we will have our Christmas party at the end of the year with our college scholarship students. So if you guys are interested in sponsoring any of those programs, you can let me know, and I will tell you how to do that. You can go to the next slide. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do that on all the regular social media channels. You can email us, and we have a website. And in the back on the check-in table where you got signed in for your attendance today, there's a newsletter sign up. So every other month I send out a newsletter with updates about what we're doing. So if you would like to be informed about that, you can write your email down there, and I will put you on that list. And I also have brought some stuff from the people who are in our family strengthening program. A lot of them make handicrafts to sell at the markets on the weekends. So I have a little table back there of things that people have made. So if you would like to have a keepsake from Thailand, you can stop by and see me back there after the service. And I think, that's pretty much it. If you have any other questions, I'll be around after the service, and then I'm leaving this afternoon to go visit my parents on the other side of the mountains. So again, I thank you guys so much for having me. It's really nice to be here and see you faces in person. Normally I'm looking this direction on the screen on YouTube. So I guess I'll hand it over to Alexa.